the next issue of the official US PlayStation Magazine Demo Disc. This is issue number 12. It had Parasite Eve on the cover, and I don't think Parasite Eve was in the demo disc, though. We have a new animation here. They used a bunch of different animations for the intro and different menus, but they would get one made and they'd use it for a few months and then they'd switch to something else. So we got this Blade Runner kind of intro here, and then we have the Unholy War. Okay, that was like some kind of a Power Stone kind of thing. Never owned this one. Played this demo quite a few times, though. Kill Cycle. So we have this sort of battle arena and we just kill each other. We're both Kill Cycle. I like that. I'm the lighter colored one. This is the kind of a game that's really only good for two-player. Oh, I got him. Haha. Bitch. Oh, okay, we're gonna go again. Oh, I didn't get health back. And I'm down. That was creepy. Bronto. Eating him. Eating him. What? Oh, shit. I don't know. Is he damaging me or am I getting him? Oh, okay. So he was getting me. It's a weird game. Oh, okay. So I only have so many, like I can't play the character again after they die. Get over here, little bitch. And he's biting me again. I don't like this. I'm pretty sure I knew how to play this game back when. Clearly I don't now. Oh, okay. Oh, geez, the melee is ridiculous. Alright, that's enough of this. Arcade victory. Was that arcade? I don't know. Metal Gear. Oh, it's just a video. Now let's watch it. Well, that was a hell of a thing. I remember this video being the thing which actually had gotten me excited about the Metal Gear Solid. Now, Metal Gear was a series which I may have played before at that point, the NES versions at least, but it wasn't really on my radar. It wasn't something that I remembered fondly from when I was a kid. So, didn't really care about what I was hearing about Metal Gear Solid prior to its release. I think there was another video and another demo that I had seen which did not impress me. I didn't care about it. Then this one came out, and I'm like, whoa, this looks awesome. That was actually really impressive back in 1998. That video was really impressive. It was a kind of production value and even a graphical fidelity that we hadn't really seen before, especially on the PS1. So I was really impressed by that. Got me crazy excited about this. I hope I eventually make it to the demo disc that had Metal Gear Solid on it, because I played that demo countless freaking times. Alright, moving on. Duke Nukem. What was this? Was this A Time to Kill? Yes, it is. Alright, load. Go ahead. Anytime now. Oh, look, we loaded to another loading screen.
Looks like it's time to kill.
Okay. No, start menu or anything? Oh, shit. Okay, so that's a third-person shooter rather than the first-person shooters that Duke Nukem had become famous for back in the 90s. Well, I mean, there was a Duke Nukem game that came out a few years ago, Duke Nukem Forever, but I didn't play much of it, and it was terrible. Anyway. Now, as shit as this looks, it is actually a, I mean, you gotta remember what era this was. This was the PlayStation 1. Third-person shooters were, like, definitely in their infancy in the era. So you gotta judge this as being a product of its time. Controlling this is a nightmare. Oh, they're in here. Oh yeah, it's a strip club. Oh, I can jump. Is that health?
Ah.
Duke Nukem nowadays just comes across as a little bit goofy. The humor is... I can't jump forward? The humor is kind of childish, really. Sort of like the kind of humor that, like a 12-year-old would think that...
Damn, I'm looking good.
Oh. Okay. I take back what I just said. Oh my god, look at that weird monster that's just humping that pole.
Shake it, baby.
Oh shit, okay. Apparently that was a thing. Can I shoot her? I feel like I should be able to shoot her. Oh, yes I can. Oh shit, monsters. Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh, damn it. I gunned the other one down by accident. Okay. Well, that was a thing. I never ended up owning this game. I played this demo quite a few times, but I never owned this game. My buddy Jose, though, loved this. He would go on and on about this for like months. Who's shooting at me now? I don't even have a shotgun. What am I getting shotgun ammo for? Back in the days when you didn't have the dual stick control, third-person shooters were so weird. I mean, try playing Tomb Raider nowadays and... Oh man, come on. How do I do this? Controlling this is such a nightmare.
Damn.
Oh, I need to get a key card or something. Alright, where do I gotta go for that? It's already in the strip club. Oh, okay, so there's a... Was that supposed to be a fire escape? Damn it, come on now. Alright, so this is how you... Get out here. Get out here. Okay, there we go. Oh, damn it! That was not what I intended to do. Where's the other one? Oh. I'm damn near dead. And I am dead. Painstakingly realistic 3D environments. Where was that? Yeah, I'm being too hard. It was 98. This one. S.C.A.R.S. S.C.A.R.S was some kind of an acronym. I don't know what that acronym meant. What it was. Oh, Ubisoft, okay. Or UB, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a racing game, obviously. Some kind of like, oh, God, I hope it looks better than that. Is this a demo or a video? It's got to be a demo because there are controls. Not even a loading screen.
VividNet uploading.
What net uploading? Oh, that was a weird way of loading a level, but okay, whatever. It's actually kind of creative. Actually get to watch the thing loading in. Oh man, look at it. I mean, you see pop in. Kind of halfway between a kart racer. Can I shoot? I feel like I can shoot. There we go. Seems kind of mean-spirited, but alright. It's definitely kart racer-ish. This is chaotic. Little difficult to control. And whenever you get hit by things, it's like, what happened? Seems like there's a little bit of tracking, like auto tracking. When, it's like I could see the environment on the periphery not loading in completely. I just see the wireframe. I wonder if that's intentional. Like, look at it, it's popping, and instead of just traditional pop-in, you start to see some things creep in. Like, there is regular pop-in. I can see it at the horizon. And it looks like they might be using some kind of level of detail scaling. And the textures are... Oh, okay. The demo ended. Looks like the texture might be like mip mapping, loading in lower detail textures, and then you get closer, it loads in higher detail textures. Might be some kind of LOD scaling where they geometry complexity as you get closer to things. Definitely technology I wouldn't have expected to see used on the PS1 all that much. I know it was used in the PS1, but in some random Ubisoft racing game from the 1998, that was not something I expected. The game sucked, though. It's just a video. You know, I don't think I've ever actually played any of the test drive games. The PS1, though, was mostly dominated by the two racers, Gran Turismo and Need for Speed. Need for Speed was maybe a little bit more my my taste, because I'm not big into driving sims at all, really. But the arcadey ones are a little bit more to my liking, and that's what Need for Speed was. Test Drive 5, I don't know what that was. Never played it. Either arcadey or simulation style. WWF Warzone. Okay. This was a game until probably 1999. No, wait, it was 1998 when I got it. Is this a video or is this a demo? I thought it was a demo. Oh, it is a demo. Okay. Oh, okay. So I can't even choose my wrestler.
Welcome to the World Wrestling Federation. For over 50 years, the dominating force in professional wrestling. I'm Vince McMahon. And I'm good old JR. We have a great match for our fans tonight. Steve Austin is the toughest SOB in the WWF. Whether you like him or you hate him, you have to admire the guts of Stone Cold Steve Austin. No one does it better than the Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels may be cocky, but he can back it up.
Okay.
And the match here is officially on its way.
Oh, this is rough. I was a real big wrestling fan back in the... Well, I started watching in '93, and then, I don't know, I watched it up through maybe like 2003 or so. So when this game came out, like, I didn't really play much of the wrestling games beforehand, but then this 3D one came out, and it was, you had the create a wrestler feature and all of that, and I'm like, yeah, this is totally awesome. Now, I definitely feel like this is a product of its day. Because it doesn't control like the kind of modern games do, or the ones that came out even only a couple of years later, because it doesn't control as well. I mean, the character animations say it all. They... Okay. It's controlling a little bit more like a kind of standard fighting game where you have button combinations you have to throw in order to do certain moves. That Austin just jumped to his feet. I'm putting in button combinations to do all of these different moves, and I can really only pull off like simple punches and stuff like that. Whereas later games, you would have your simple punches, but then you would have like a tie-up move or a lock-up move, and then you would, from there, you would go and press like up, down, left, or right, or something like that, in order to decide or to choose what you were going to do after that. This is just weird. How come that didn't lead to a pin? This is totally funky, the way that this the stun mechanic. I don't know what that is. Am I gonna win? Oh shit. Oh, they both did it. Oh, I did it again. Oh yeah, a headbutt. He's ready to go. He's just standing there. And Shawn Michaels is bouncing the ropes.
Shawn taking this fight outside the ring.
And then he steps out of the ropes and comes back in. And then an elbow smash to the back of the head. That makes so much sense.
Northern Light suplex.
I definitely had that tie-up. Why did he get the move?
Team now. First-rate fisherman suplex.
Was it? Was it really? Seems like every time you reach the end of a life bar, you get the stun. And then I don't know what attacking a person during their stun does you, because regardless of what you do, it ends up just...
First-rate fisherman suplex.
They end up recovering. There's got to be a way of pinning.
And the fans go nuts.
Oh, okay, I accidentally jumped out of it, and I'm going to accept that. On the N64, you had the WCW games. You had, what was it? What were they called? WCW versus NWO, and I think there was another one that came after that, which were actually like ports of Japanese games. So it had a bunch of Japanese wrestlers I'd never heard of. But then you had the WCW guys, and that was, I mean, mechanically anyway, the way it controlled was much better, much more resembled what you see in the modern day games. And the WWF license didn't have that kind of gameplay. Then I think THQ dropped WCW, or WCW, they lost license to WCW, or WWF threw more money at them, and they switched sides and started making WWF games. So then they started making like the N64 games like WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, were built in the same style and the same engine and stuff as those WCW games before, like WCW versus NWO. And they're considered, I mean, I don't think they've aged well either, but they definitely aged better than Warzone. But they were so much better. On the PlayStation, we got the SmackDown series, which I honestly wouldn't say was any worse. It was better in some ways and worse than others than the N64 games. In general, people tend to think that the N64 games were better. I think they were about the equal, just better, and they were just different. And then I think WCW ended up going to, what was this, Acclaim, I think, made these Warzone games. And like, by then, the gameplay style was so dated that everyone hated them. Spyro. Oh, it's a demo. Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon, of course, would, oh, alright.
Thank you for releasing me. Free the dragons in the artisan world, then seek out the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Norg?
That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. Spyro the Dragon, Insomniac's greatest creation, I guess, at the time. Actually, you could say maybe it was, in fact, their greatest creation, even though they didn't end up getting most of the profits that came of it. Because Spyro was later, for like the genesis of the Skylanders games.
Here's Nasty. I'll torch him.
Go after some sheep first. Those little creatures release butterflies, which Sparks the dragonfly eats. Sparks protects you.
Skylanders, I don't think it's making any money anymore, but for a few years there, that was like $1 billion franchise. So that Spyro was the genesis of that. I mean, I don't think Spyro the character had much importance in the Skylanders games themselves, but it was the basis of it. And Insomniac's kicking themselves over not owning the rights to this. I mean, oftentimes developers will create an IP, an intellectual property, and not own it because the publisher ended up walking away with it. Okay, so I guess for the end of the level. but I can't get there yet because I don't own the game. It's another demo that I played a whole bunch of times. The PlayStation 1, there was a perception, and in ways it was correct, that the PlayStation 1 wasn't really a game that was well suited for more open 3D environments. And like when you compare like the N64 right off the bat with Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64, you saw a lot of like big open environments that your character can run around in or fly around or anything like that. PlayStation 1 didn't really have that at launch. You started seeing games like Tomb Raider, which was a 3D platformer, which started to change that perception. But if you look at like Spyro, I think, is probably the best example of being able to do this kind of thing on the PS1. Now, it isn't quite the same, because I mean, the environment is fairly large, and there's a lot of moving around in here, areas to explore and all of that. But there's definitely some limitations of the design with what they're doing here. Like, you see a lot of walls and stuff. Like, yeah, okay, so in this area, it's fairly open, but on the other side we have a wall. So it limits how far you can see. I guess that had a lot to do with the loading times. You would, like, the disc it's probably loading the next area off the disc as I'm going through this tunnel, which wasn't really something that you had to worry about with the N64 nearly as much because of the nature of the cartridge-based storage. Also, Sony tends to, well, Sony's design for the PlayStation 1 didn't really have a lot of like floating point capability, so certain things became problematic, like texture mapping was a little bit of an issue. Now, they built the PlayStation that is, with the idea that you would push higher polygon counts as opposed to using floating point math for the polygon counts, which would lower the number of polygons that they could render, but allow for better like texture mapping and better like vertice coordinates and all that kind of thing. So if you look at the environment here, like, you got this nice hill here. It's got a high polygon count, a lot of triangles in that. Yeah, and you can see it, like, look at the difference in the shading as I'm moving back and forth on that hill on the right side. How you can see how much geometry is in this. It's definitely not the kind of thing you would have seen on the N64. They wouldn't have put geometry into creating a hill like that. They would have saved it for other things or not done it at all. But in here, the PlayStation was designed to push a lot of polygons, so you might as well use it for something. You're not going to get the good texture mapping anyway, so you might as well put it into creating a more detailed environment. Also, look at Spyro. Spyro is actually a pretty good design as far as a character goes, especially for the... I'm going to compare this to Crash Bandicoot in the way that the character has a lot of... it's clearly the character was designed around the limitations of the machine it was designed to run on. So, big eyes, the mouth, the way the legs are designed, not a lot of geometry that they could throw into something like that because it's a PlayStation 1 game. Nothing in the era really had a lot of geometry, but the character looks pretty good, and they could put, and because it's a PlayStation, they couldn't get good perspectives on the PlayStation 1's texture mapping, because they could definitely put higher res textures than you had seen on the N64. So the character design has some detail in the textures where it counts. Crash Bandicoot did something similar, so I think actually Spyro is a little bit better than Crash in that regards. But compare it to, say, Mario and Mario 64, where the character doesn't have a lot of detail on him. And a character did, I guess, the Mario in Mario 64 was also designed around the technical limitations of the N64. So the character looked good because they built it around what the machine could or couldn't do. Spyro looks good for the same thing, just different limitations. Sheep! Do I have to get the dragonfly to eat those? It's been a long time since I played Spyro. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Loading screen. Guess it's better than being stuck in an elevator. Meh. Meh. Ah, shit. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to get the dragon statue. At least these guys know to be afraid of me. You know, I wonder if Spyro 2 was better. Like, looked better or played better. You tend to see that a lot with the games as the sequel comes out, and the developers, like, they've learned their lessons already from the first game. That the second one ends up being just a little bit more refined. Bitch. Camera control's a little iffy. I'm not sure why it needed to tell me that. Alright, I'm getting my fill of this. I'm about to move on. I don't know if there are any more demos on this disc, but I'm going to go check it out. Spyro was a big deal in his time, though. Sony was never really pushing that hard on character mascots. It had Crash, but Crash was a Naughty Dog game, which is Naughty Dog, and I think it might have actually been owned by Universal. So you didn't see a mascot like Mario or Sonic, or hell, even Master Chief, on the PlayStation, really ever. Sony doesn't have a mascot for the PlayStation. Never did, really. Spyro is, or not Spyro, Crash is probably the closest thing. Insomniac, like for the longest time, I'd actually thought that Insomniac was owned by Sony. Turns out they weren't. In fact, they produced a couple of Xbox games, I think, in the current generation. Sony owns them now. I'm pretty sure they bought Insomniac out like a year or two ago. But for the longest time, I thought Sony already owned them. Rival Schools. Oh, I keep screwing it up. When you get to this, you have to press the X button to get through. Start the video. Rival Schools. I never played that game. I'm pretty sure it was a kind of like an attempt by Capcom to move into the 3D fighting realm, and it was sort of, it might have been a spin-off of Street Fighter, because I'm pretty sure what's her name was in Rival Schools. What the hell's, how do you pronounce the name? Like it's Sakura or something like that. Anyway, I never played it though. Threads promo, that wasn't a game though, was it? That was it's like a merch commercial. Never bought any of that crap. I'm not much of a person for wearing apparel that has logos or anything of a brand on it. Anyway, that was the official US PlayStation Magazine demo disc number 12. Not the worst demo disc they put out. Could have been a little better. I mean, Unholy War, I remember playing, thinking that was pretty good at the time, although not so much here. Metal Gear video, awesome video. Duke Nukem, better game in its era. It was a little screwy, hard to control now. S.C.A.R.S, I don't remember if I think I played that a lot when I was a kid, but here it was a little too chaotic. Definitely see the reason why it didn't become a big major franchise for Ubisoft. Test Drive 5, alright video. WWF Warzone, trip down memory lane, trip down a bumpy road. Spyro the Dragon, awesome as always. Rival Schools, I don't know what to make of that. Threads promo, I don't care.